Good evening, Monadnock Region, and welcome to the Space Lounge. This is, of course, Go Mo Tonight, the Monadnock Region's only weekly local interest comedy podcast. And I am here once again at last with my two co-hosts,
Zoe Roten-Heinsman.
And Sam Abbott.
Sam. Welcome back to the program. We had to leave you out unplanned for a couple of episodes because we kind of wedged in this bonus episode with Ed Walker, which hopefully everybody by now has already viewed. But prior to that, it's not really prior to that. It all happened at the same time. Sam was getting a stomach bug in all capital letters, Maine.
Hopefully not
It's
from like
true.
some bad seafood or something.
No, fortunately
No,
not.
it's
No.
a bad child, right?
Yeah, exactly.
like all real stomach bugs.
Exactly. Bad children other than my own, who gave it to my good children, and then they brought it back to me.
That's what
corrupted
they do.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh my God, the little vermin, Oh, the pleasures of being a parent. I was talking to my good buddies, some of you will know who I'm talking about, John and Pat down in New Jersey. Shout out to I got a shout out on the most recent Fresh Kills podcast. So shout out to we've done this before, Fresh Kills. John Palmucci's a co-host. But I was chatting with them about because John's a train conductor, and so he, in terms of mask wearing and things like that, is bound by federal guidelines. So the I don't know if it was the TSA or whoever announced today that they're keeping the transportation mask mandate in place for another 30 days, right? So no place else does anybody have to wear masks, but on planes and on trains that fall under the federal system, you have to wear masks. And so John and Pat were all like, yeah, but and John started it. He's like, he did that thing that so many people are doing where he's like, I haven't actually been sick in like 2 years, but his kid is like 6 months old or whatever and doesn't go to daycare, so and Pat is he's in a long-term monogamous relationship but does not have children, so he doesn't have any clue. He does work in a pharmacist, I will say, so he comes into contact with the unwashed masses all the time, right? But I think that the pharmacy has had mask rules most of this time. And I'm just like, oh, John, I'm like, because they started joking with me about how I'm sick because I'm not masked all the time, which because I said I've gotten sick plenty of times in the last 2 years, never with COVID, but I've gotten sick with other things like normal shit, right? And they're like, yeah, it's because you're not masked, which is, I mean, I haven't been masked in I don't know, a year and a half really in any substantial way, but the real culprit is always the god. No offense to anybody who thinks I'm speaking ill of children, but it's the goddamn children who bring home the diseases. And John will find out one day. Maybe Mina, his wife. It's possible. Who knows? They haven't worked it all out. They're about to have They're about to have an Irish twin right now. So she may be home for a while, and the kids may be home for a while. And John may be able to continue this trend for a while, but eventually one or both of those kids is going to go to a filthy, and again, this is not judgment, it could be the nicest wooden toy, screen-free, electricity-free Waldorf place, right? And it's a filthy ass daycare cesspool, and they're going to bring home diseases, right?
It's true. No, it's absolutely true. They hadn't gotten sick. Our kids haven't gotten sick in a long time because they've been home. And this was the first thing. And Lindsay took them to this little party at these friends' houses of this mom's group, and they fucking came home with it, and everybody got deathly ill. And her friend went to the emergency room. I mean, it was like,
oh geez.
My buddy pulled a muscle in his back because he was puking so hard.
Oh,
I think
God,
he's kind of dramatic guy anyway, but still burst blood vessels under his eyes, he said.
No, I mean, you know what though?
Wow.
I mean, honestly, I can relate to that a little bit though, because I am, for whatever reason, not to be graphic, but I am kind of a violent puker, and I hate having a stomach bug for that reason. And what will happen to me is it's not usually my back. It's I don't know if I've ever had a blood vessel problem, but probably almost. But I will get my like whole like larynx from like the involuntary yelling that I have to do. I can't throw up quietly. I don't know why. I've seen people do it. I know it's possible, but I can't do it. Right. And so like I will burn my entire like esophagus from like yell puking. Right. And I will literally bruise my own ribs. Like my ribs will get bruised from like the violence of the convulsion. So I get it. Like and maybe I'm a dramatic sick person as well. Again, like I said, I've known people who puke very passively, and I don't I don't know how that's done. I am violent, and it's terrible. So yeah, so I mean, I get it if your buddy throws out his back. That could happen to me. Definitely. Like I'm susceptible. I'm the equivalent of an immunocompromised when it comes to like a puke muscular injury. So, switching gears from that terrible subject, let's talk about pizza.
Nothing I like more right after a stomach bug than some nice pizza.
All right, well, actually, one more disgusting stomach bug comment, right? This is because this has happened to me ever since I was a child. This is like a universal thing, right? When I Because like, all right, so you know how like you have this like violent like purgative period, right? And like you can't keep anything down and you got to get through it, right? But eventually you come out on the other side and you can eat, and like you ought to like take it easy on yourself and like have like toast and ginger ale for a little while or whatever, right? Like without fail, like powerful urges within me, like primal urges. When I get better from a stomach bug, I'm like, give me McDonald's and fried chicken and pizza and waffles with syrup, fake syrup, and and like that's what I want, you know? And like most of my life, like the people around me have been like, you can't have that, dude. I'm not giving into that demand. I'm You can have something, X reasonable thing, right? But like, in my adulthood, it's less easy for people to dismiss me for that because I'll just bother them until like I'll just be just an awful pain in the ass, and moan for McDonald's. Oh, I need a quarter pound. I will never be healed until I get my quarter pounder. Like I will just sit there moaning and moaning and moaning. And I don't know. I will say in my experience, like I almost kind of think the whole like easing back into it is a myth. Like I think when your body is done with the problem, it's like totally like you can't like launch yourself back into the problem like by eating greasy stuff or something like that. I don't know. That's just my experience, anyways. But pizza. Let's
I did see Sam gnawing on a saltine earlier, so I don't think
It's
he
true.
follows your philosophy.
I was finishing them off. No, it's all I ate on Tuesday was saltines
I
until
know
the
I've
evening.
had yeah, I like salt. I mean, saltines are kind of a comfort food for me, so I still
They're nice.
appreciate them. I still appreciate them in this context. I really do. I am a saltine fan. Um, yeah, but so we're March, it's the month of tournaments. Those of you know that anybody who works someplace with a pool, one of my coworkers who like I work in Nashua, but actually she started on the same day as me, and she's my Monadnock region coworker. She lives in New Ipswich, and she sent out an email being like she had done a bunch of Super Bowl squares, and she was like, hey, I was talking to so and so, and we were saying we should start up a March Madness tool. Who's interested? And my response is like, you will always hook me into losing money on a well-intentioned gambling scheme. Like I will happily lose money on this. So I've never won a March Madness pool, but I will always enter them anyway because I don't know why not. It's kind of makes it fun. I won't watch the tournament either. It's funny because like I am a basketball fan, but like people are like, oh yeah, you got to watch the college basketball. It's like pure basketball. And then like I watch a college basketball game, like honestly, even the good teams, even the best teams, I watch them and I'm like, so by pure, do you mean like worse? Like, do you mean just like shitty? Like they're not as good at playing it? You know, like they're not as good at like shooting the ball and like blocking the shots and like, I don't know, any of the things that make basketball like they're just not as good at it. And that's what you mean by pure, right? I don't know. I've never really understood that. I don't actually think that college basketball is fun to watch at all. I don't know because I'm used to watching the NBA where they're awesome um, at everything, and it's entertaining. But and I don't know. Whatever. People like it though. Maybe I'll force myself to watch a couple of games. I will gamble on it. But we at Go Monadnock are going to jump into. It's not really a proper tournament, but the contest.
Oh, it's a tournament. It is a pizza tournament.
It's the field of sport. We're going to judge, grade, review in detail the pizza of the Monadnock region. And we need your help in doing that. We're actually asking for listener, viewer, reader, regional citizen participation, at least to some small degree, in our March Pizza Madness tournament, which is really going to end in April, but whatever. So does the NCAA tournament, for the record. But before we get into that, this episode is sponsored by the Max T Makerspace. As you are well aware from listening to this program, many people are saying that it is time to protect the greater Peterborough area from incursions from neighbors. You may have heard me say something like this. Perhaps even take the upper hand when dealing with the surrounding region. Perhaps take the initiative, go on the offensive. This is true in so many ways. But in particular, it's true in protecting the cultural dominance of Peterborough. We cannot truly win the war without first winning hearts and minds. Unfortunately, Peterborough has seen heavy losses. We've talked about some of these on this program. New England College came and took away our Sharon Arts Center. Nova Arts, may they rue the day, in Keene, took our Thing in the Spring Festival. God took away music at Harlow's. Max T is fighting back. For those of you who don't know, Max T is behind the nation's biggest small town community makerspace, located right here in Peterborough. And that's a remarkable fact that is worth, frankly, being proud of. The makerspace has shared workspaces, private studios, and educational opportunities for makers of all stripes. It has been behind the wildly popular Night Market, which the Night Market Arts Festival, which we ourselves have participated in. Honestly, the Night Market is top notch. It's one of my favorite things. So again, Max T is responsible for that, and it's going to be returning in a big way this summer. Finally, and listen to this. This is news right here. Finally, Max T has fought back for you. Max T has thwarted New England College's nefarious attempt to deprive our region of a pottery studio. After the closing of the Sharon Arts Center, Max T gathered the pottery making troops, made a plan, and they have now turned the tide. This month, Max T is opening its brand new, beautiful ceramic studio right on Route 101 in Dublin, thanks to the contributions of hundreds of members of our community. It's, get this, Sharing Arts Community Ceramic Center. I love that. It will renew and improve upon Sharon Arts' legacy of providing access to all the equipment, instruction, and support you need, whether you are a beginner or a professional. Max T will be hosting regular weekly classes from some of our region's leading potters, including classes for young learners. It will also have membership options that allow anyone to pursue this extremely worthwhile hobby to the fullest and help the Max T Makerspace fight back. Hell yeah. Let's take the turf. Cultural dominance. That's what this is all about. What's more, bonus, it gets better. For you loyal listeners, Max T is offering a special discount. That's right. Gomo Tonight has its own promotional coupon. Just use GOMO, GOMO, at checkout for any of Max T's upcoming classes or for a membership at the new Ceramic Center, the Sharing Art Center in Dublin, and receive a 5% discount, which I love. So many thanks to Max T Makerspace, not just for sponsoring our program, but for fighting back on the cultural front. I love that. Like I can't think of very much that I love more. So, we are even even beyond the words that we are paid to say. Consider us enthusiastic supporters of both the Sharing Arts Center and the broader Max T Makerspace, which we all thought was called Maxed up until now. But now we know. Now, now we know. Now you know it's called Max T Makerspace. Big supporters, big fans. Can't wait for the summer night market. We will definitely be there. And hey, maybe we can find some more ways to collaborate directly as time goes on. Really excited about that. What a great resource and a great spirit imbued in these folks that are running this organization in our community. Really love to see that. As they pointed out, in a time of losses, really love to see that. Really love to see that. But one thing that we know that Keene doesn't have on us, and I can say this for a fact, having spent way too many cursed years in the shadow of Keene. Keene itself is a valley and it can't cast a shadow. It just is a shadow, you know. It's a slur. It's a scar on the land. In all honesty, not, not to spend too much time ragging on Keene, but like go up to the top of Mount Monadnock and like look at like the 50 to 100 miles that you can see in every direction, right? And there literally is only one place that you can see. And you can see like part of what you can see is fucking like Athol, Massachusetts, which is considered like one of like the lowest, dirtiest places in the entire Commonwealth, right? And the only place that you can actually visibly see though from the top of that mountain, it looks like a scar, looks like God or some evil spirit just sort of like made like an ugly mark in the ground. Like the only place where that's true is Keene. And it's obvious. Like it looks like a fucking like military airfield. Like it's just ugly. Sin. What a terrible place. Oh my God. But here's the thing. They have got a greater population. They're stealing our music. They're doing all of these things. But their pizza is absolutely not better than ours. And that's not to say that ours is great, but theirs is not better. And we're not including them in our tournament because fuck them. They're not part of the Monadnock region, no matter how much they claim. I don't care if they want to merge with our Chamber of Commerce or what. Keene, you're not one of us. You're not a chance. Marlborough and Swansea, you aren't either. But whatever. Well, I don't know. Once in a while, if you're nice, we'll let you come to the table. But anyways, you're not included in the pizza. I don't know. Did we include? We did. All right. We do have Marlboro in the pizza.
I might have put Marlboro.
Oh, we do.
Okay. I did like a 20-minute radius.
Yeah. No, it's cool. So let's list this off, and then we'll kind of explain to you how this is going to work. So we're going to the basis for our judgment on the pizza is going to be a small cheese. No, not a small cheese, because nobody eats cheese pizza. Nobody with a soul. We're going to get a small
over the age of. Over the age of like 7.
Right, exactly. Well, if you're under the age of 13 and a half, you're not human yet anyway. So, larvae and people with no souls sometimes eat plain cheese pizza. Nobody else should ever do that. You can't judge pizza on a plain cheese, right? So we're going to do a small pepperoni pizza to make it fair across the board. I love a lot of toppings. I eat lots of random things on pizza. Very flexible. Got a broad. I'm very broad-minded as far as toppings go, but to keep this fair and simple, because I've seen people, and again, I don't want to get into specifics because we don't want to begin the judgment yet, but I've even seen folks, pizza places that are on this list try to, or proponents of them, try to make the argument that like the freshness of the toppings contributes to how good the pizza is. No, they don't. Let me make that very clear and make a flat statement. No, they don't. The quality of a pizza has fucking nothing to do with the toppings that go on it at all. It's all about the crust, the cheese, the sauce, the cheese, and the cheese to sauce ratio. Um,
Yes.
all of which is extremely important. But that is the foundation of a pizza, and then whatever you throw on top of it is whatever you throw on top of it. If you have a good crust and a good cheese to sauce ratio, and you throw canned black olives on top of it, like, I'm not going to be happy about that. That's not correct, but it's gonna be a better pizza than I was about to throw an actual name of a pizza place out there, but I'm not going to do that yet. We will piss people off later in terms of insulting your favorite pizza places, because I know there's some of you who are diehards at a place that is just some of the worst pizza I've had in my life. Like, I feel like I don't know if I've ever had pizza in Ohio, but I could find pizza in Ohio that's better than this pizza, and like, they don't even know what food is there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. And the so anyway,
Well, so what are the pizza places that
here's the identified pizza
we're
places, and I
visiting?
will say we have not started this yet. So if you and even I meant to mention this at the beginning. We're recording this on Thursday, the 10th of March, 2022. This will be released on the 17th, St. Patrick's Day. Happy motherfucking St. Patrick's Day to all of you. I've got like a tiny sliver of Irish in me. I hope you do too. Um, I'm sure, and if you don't, I'm sure there's an Irish guy out there who's willing to help. Um, it's St. Patrick's Day after all. So again, the point of all that is to say that when you're hearing this, if you're listening and you feel that there is a pizza place that is not represented on our list, you still have time to get it in. So please reach out to us, Irish or otherwise, temporarily, who knows, okay? But the pizza places on our list, which hopefully none of these are owned by Irish people, but I bet you some of them are, which again, no offense, I'm a little bit part Irish, but the Irish shouldn't make pizza. So we're covering, as Zoe said, Zoe kind of collected around roughly a 20-minute radius with a couple of minor exceptions, okay? So in Peterborough, we have Pizza Barn, Ponchos, Bowling Acres, Pizza Peddler, and Grappelli's. In Jaffrey, we have Athens, Jaffrey Pizza Barn. In Ringe, Pizza Pie, Domino's, Pizza Haven. New Ipswich represented, New Ipswich House of Pizza. Wilton, the famous. Now, this is a contender. This is one that I've never tried before, but people swear to God it's like the best. I'm very interested to see what I think about that fact. Wilton House of Pizza. Okay. Milford, and again, it's just over the line. We're not really trying to cover all of Milford with this necessarily, but we feel, especially given its ties to the Mystical Hill in Wilton, Ziza Pizza. We're going to review them as well. In Antrim, there's Rick and Diane's Brick Oven Pizza, so covering some of the northern towns in the region. Again, we're going to make it out to Marlborough this one time for the Main Crust Pizza Co., another place I've never tried. And we're going to give Troy a shot at this. Troy, which I do consider in the Monadnock region, but doesn't necessarily get a lot of coverage here on Go Monadnock. Troy House Pizza is going to be on there.
So I just want to say I left out flatbreads. Like, I went for like pizza.
No, yeah. Flatbread is great bar food. It is not true pizza. Will not be judged. Will not.
Yeah.
No offense to anybody.
And I also did not look into other than Bowling Acres, because that was mentioned, as like everyone knows Bowling Acres has pizza.
That comes up. People like that.
Right. Yeah, it comes up. But I did not like dig deep onto the menus of like, various restaurants that may also include pizza.
No.
That was,
Yeah, we're not.
again,
if
you've got like, if there's somebody, a place like that we're missing that we need to know about.
This is about pizza joints. This is about a pizza joint.
Okay. Yeah.
And,
I mean, I think if someone is like, no, Alberto's has like the best pizza and they want to tell us about it, like, we could be open to that, right?
Totally.
But I did not hunt. I didn't hunt.
We're open to some input on this. Now, I'm going to give you kind of like the skinny on like two different flows of how this is going to go. First, this is how we're going to do this. Okay. So we're going to do Sam, Zoe, and I. We may invite some random friends and steal impromptu things that they say to publish without their permission. If any friends listening to this know that you want to participate in that, just let me know. We'll clue you in. But we're going to do two different sessions, and we're going to really attempt to do 6 of each, like 6 of the choices in each session. And I think that that's reasonable. There's 3 of us. We can all divide up the territory, pick up 2 small pepperoni pizzas a piece, come together. They will still all be relatively warm at that time. And then we can all have one, at least half a slice of the small pie, and begin to make our judgments. What we're going to do is, we didn't want to do like a bracketed tournament, because in order to do that, we'd have to pre-seed everybody. And in order to pre-seed the pizzas, we have to prejudge the pizzas. And while I can do that in my mind, that doesn't seem super fair for the contest. So we're going to take the pizzas, we're going to eat them, comment on them, and then in each session, the top 2 or 3, we're going to give ourselves a little flexibility here. That we feel are legitimate and good are going to make it to the final round. And then in that final round, that's kind of like the best of the region's pizza going up against one another, and we'll give a more in-depth review of each of those and bring it to a conclusion. However, there is another way to kind of make it into the final stages, because we're offering up a populist award, and this is going to be tied in with a contest that we're going to do. So big pizza contest here. You have to sign up for our email list, but those who are either on the email list and Zoe's going to create a Google form that allows people to vote on this subject. Vote on your favorite pizza place. It can be one of these. You can write in an option if you want to, right? You're going to be required to sign up for our email list, though. A little trick we're doing to get you in order for your vote to count, right? But anybody who votes in this is going to be entered into a random drawing, regardless of what obscene or bizarre choice that you have reflecting your poor taste in pizza. You're going to be entered in. All votes are going to count the same. And the winner of our little raffle here is going to get a large pepperoni pizza gift certificate, not to the place that you consider your favorite, but the place that we judge as our favorite, because we are forcing our cultural tastes upon you. But that's the fun part of the contest. And but as part of that, though, if there is a pizza place that we have not chosen with our hoity-toity tastes as making it to the final round, but it gets like the most votes or a substantial plurality, I mean, not a plurality, but like a significant percentage of votes that we deem as worthy, really, it's going to win the People's Choice Award. So it is possible that the Go Monadnock Best Pizza Award may differ from the People's Choice. We will find out if we are actually elitists or not, or if we're in touch with the people. I think we're elitists, but I'm cool with that when it comes to pizza, because, and let's chat about this for a couple minutes. No offense, everybody. Maybe this will encourage you to vote and outvote me if you hate what I have to say. But
are we naming names now?
No.
No. Okay.
No. I wasn't going to name names. Well, we will.
Speak generally.
We will name names. But what I was just going to, the general comment that I was going to make is that I don't know if people in this area know what good pizza is. No offense. There are, and I'm not saying that all of the pizza around here is bad, because it's not. There are good. We're gonna get to that. But when, I don't know. I mean, I've had better pizza in like the dirty alleyways of like Fitchburg, Leominster roller skating rinks than one of the most popular pizza places in Peterborough. It's like the worst pizza I've ever had in my life. Honestly, like, it's awful. Like Elio's is better. I might be being too mean to ever reveal which one that I'm talking about, but you can probably guess. Like it's the pizza place where animals are most likely to go, if that gives you any hints, right? It's just absolutely where animals are most likely to live, even. It's just terrible. It doesn't, like I'm telling you, the people of the Midwest who just have no concept of food, who have less concept of food than the British do, right? They could make a better pizza than this. Um, it
And
is.
you're gonna eat it. You're gonna
I will.
subject
No, I
yourself to
will.
this,
I've
like,
eaten it before out of
for
politeness and
our
everything.
viewers. That's
I mean,
pretty impressive.
it's a cliche to say. It's a cliche to say, but I don't know if you guys have heard the old expression that, like, you know, pizza is like sex. Like, even when it's bad, like, it's still pizza. You know, so like, that's not something that I've come up with, and I'm not even 100% sure that I agree. But it is a saying that people have, and it's at least partially true.
We'll keep that in mind as we are judging these pizzas, like,
Exactly,
whether we
exactly.
agree with this statement.
Is this piece of pizza as good as bad sex? I don't know. Well, that there's a scale here, right? But I'm gonna name one name here. I'm gonna call her out. She's written for Go Monadnock before. I think a lot. She's a member of the recreational committee. Roxanne, our good friend Roxanne. I call out Roxanne because, Roxanne, I really appreciate you for your urban taste, which is something that I am familiar with, and most people around here are not. You hate and scorn exactly the right things. Like, God Almighty, like, Roxanne, when you talk about what a bakery is and what a bakery is not, and for those of you who don't know, a fucking bakery has nothing to do with cakes. If the bakery makes cakes or macarons or whatever the hell those fucking things are, it's not a bakery, guys. That's not what a fucking bakery is. God damn it. People in New Hampshire don't understand. A bakery. Oh my God. And bread. Holy shit. Bread. Like, when you talk about, like, the art of making bread, and if you're talking about sourdough, I want you in a gulag. Like, I just, God Almighty, I don't. It's abhorrent. That is not what bread is. That's not what good bread is. That's not what the art of bread making is. That is some of the worst bread that there is. The only way to make worse bread than sourdough is to have seeds in it that you can chew. You know, that's not what bread is. Bread is a different color than that. It's a different consistency than that. It doesn't sit in the bottom of your stomach like a weight, like, oh my God, like, it's like a chemical that you guys are doing. Oh God, sourdough. It's edible. Okay. It's better than, like, oat wheat McSeedy, but barely. Barely. That's not what bread is. That's, sorry. I don't know, like, your ideas of, like, cottage core, like that Hansel and Gretel and whatever the fuck. That's not correct. Um, go to a city and eat their bread. A lot of times it's long and it's hard and you break it and it snaps, like, and it's, oh my God, that's bread, guys. Roxanne understands this. Roxanne, I hope that you comment on these pizza words, but, like, there's so few people around here that I feel like understand what a proper bakery is, what a proper bagel is, what proper pizza is. And even among those that do, they're usually reticent to comment on it. But Roxanne, especially, not to stereotype or anything like that, but, like, Roxanne is also how do we say this politely? A person who is pregnant, and so feels food things strongly and has made a lot of comments to this effect. And right on, Roxanne. I appreciate your urban snobbery when it comes to this stuff, because I have that too. And pizza is a complex subject. Okay, I've got a lot of friends up and down the northeast megalopolis of this country, and a lot of people who will claim that, like, like New York City pizza is better because of the dirty water that they use to make it. That's not true. By the way, that's not true. New York City pizza is very good. It's not better than like New Jersey pizza though, and they have different dirty water in New Jersey. It frankly, it isn't really better than Boston pizza. It's like slightly better than Philly pizza, but not by much. They're all very similar, very much the same in the cities of the Northeast, and they're all very good. Chicago makes an abomination. I've actually had very good pizza in Chicago, but it wasn't Chicago style. It was like the opposite of that. Chicago style pizza shouldn't exist. It's a
What is
casserole.
it? What's their?
It's a
Oh, is
casserole.
it the deep dish?
It's like
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's like
them.
deep dish, but even like when I
casserole.
think of deep dish, I think of like Pizza Hut, like what pizza like when Pizza Hut was good, like Pizza Hut deep
Sure.
dish, it's like a little bit
Yeah,
thicker. And I loved that back in
that
the
was
day.
fun.
And
Yeah.
God, anybody who tells you that the top of the world wasn't getting a little personal pan pizza in the little black cast iron back in the day with a soda and a little treat
Mm,
and all that stuff. Oh my God, that was like the
that was
pinnacle of
nice.
human
Yeah.
civilization, possibly, in fact.
I worked at Pizza Hut very briefly, but I definitely availed myself of my free like personal pan pizza every shift. It's good
Um,
stuff.
God, it was good. So that's what I think of when I think of deep dish, and it's not in the Pizza Hut in the former, because I've been to Pizza Hut in the last 5-10 years, and you can't. It's bad. It's gone. It's gone. Like Harlow's. It's there, but it's gone. It's you know.
Yeah.
Um,
This is like 2002 Pizza Hut when I
yeah,
worked there.
2002 Pizza Hut fucking still the shit. Oh my God, this is like the best, right? No, like real Chicago deep dish. Oh my God, it's like 3 times as thick as that, and like gooey, and like, man, they might as well use like a sourdough base to it. Like it's just
That
it's
sounds like you tried to make a homemade pizza and you like didn't stretch it thin enough.
Oh, it's so much worse than that. Oh yeah, you're
Oh
right. It sounds
God.
like that, and that's bad, but it is so much worse than that. It's like you can't pick up a piece. Like you must consume it with a
Fork.
utensil. Like you can't
Yeah.
like pick it up. Oh God, terrible, terrible, terrible. Ignore them. California, ignore them too. They don't know. It like
Oh man, so I've had plenty of Oregon pizza. This is great. It usually like had butternut squash puree instead of tomato sauce, and like little kale chips on top, and nuts and nutritional yeast instead of cheese. Wash that
where
down with a nice
California,
IPA.
yeah, and I can't speak to the Pacific Northwest because I haven't had it, but I have had California pizza, and like where California gets it right is the same way that Chicago does. It's like if they imitate the East Coast, like if someone like takes the time to like figure out how they do it, not even the East Coast, the Northeast, like how they do it in the like from being generous, Washington D.C. northward, but really Philadelphia northward. Um, if they learn how to do it that way and then try to imitate it, they can make good pizza there. But left to their own devices, not a fucking chance.
I don't think the South even tries. Like,
No, they and to their
yeah,
credit.
it's just not their territory. They've got barbecue.
Yep. No,
Don't need to mess with the pizza.
it's a different thing. Um, and so the the point is, I've spent a lot of time judging this sort of thing up and down, and there's another aspect to this though, which is the House of Pizza, of which we have several on our list that are considered that. Now, for those of you who don't know, um, and it's changed a little bit over the recent years because family businesses and everything, like usually by like the third generation they sell to somebody else, and so I don't know truly how many houses of pizza are actually Greek at this point in time, but House of Pizza in New England used to signify that this was a Greek owned pizza establishment, and by Greek style of pizza, typically what that means is it's going to be not quite as thin as like the Italian pizzas that you find in the city, but relatively the same style. It's like a little bit more generic. It's just a little bit, it's a step down, but like a typical traditional decent house of pizza is pretty good. The Greeks did a good job. They moved into New England. I wish I knew this story a little bit better about their immigrant passage, but I mean, most of the Italians came, between like 1900 and 1920 or so, and I want to say that the Greeks kind of filled in the small towns because that's when pizza came. For those of you who don't know, like pizza is eaten in Italy, but like pizza as a phenomenon is truly an Italian American thing. And so it really only began with Italian Americans in the 20th century. So it's not like the Greeks could have possibly preempted this even if they were here first. But for whatever reason, there were more Greeks outside of the cities in New England, in the small towns, to the point where, like, you know, most New England, especially Massachusetts small towns, have a congregational church because that was like the theocracy that stemmed out of the Puritans. And it was like at one time mandated by law. Well, there's almost as many towns with a house of pizza as there is a congregational house of worship. It's almost as if at some point in time it was mandated by law. And those of you who are very familiar with Mount Monadnock probably know of Bald Rock. It's one of the peaks on there. And on Bald Rock, there's this inexplicable carving on a very prominent stone where it says Kiasticuticus Peak. Like, very, very obvious Greek name. Like, the only way it could be more obviously Greek is if it was like Chronopolis or something like that, like wicked Greek, right? And it's a very old carving, so it's obviously we're going back, 100 years or so. Somebody carved, or maybe more, carved this up there. Like, the carving is old enough that it's older than Greeks in this region, as far as I can tell, should be. Like, I don't know that there should have been Greeks here when this was carved. So
It's
my
like an ancient
imagine,
aliens thing.
yeah, yes, yes, the Greeks appeared to the Native Americans before Columbus. like actually it was like 2000 years ago, like while the Greeks were influencing the Romans in the whole Mediterranean region, they sent a party to to North America. Maybe the aliens took them there, who knows, but they it's very, in the Native Americans, they didn't have a written language, which is why there's no record of this, right? And the Greeks, they didn't make it back to Greece, so but they came over and they told them about Greek pizza. And
And they and they carved this rock,
they
but
carved
not
the,
in Greek letters.
so yeah,
In
they knew what letters we were going to be using after Columbus down the line. And the mythology that I have invented for this, is that Kiasticuticus was the founder of the first house of pizza in New England. Not true, but if I repeat it enough, I bet you I can get it remembered that way.
Well, here's the thing. So I was looking this up in the background earlier, and then again just now a little bit.
Producer
Um,
Jerry.
yes, Jerry's off, so I had to do this. Um, and I thought I had come up with like a story explaining it, like a little teaser on Google or whatever. But it's not like once I clicked on it and started reading it, it's like the only thing that I could find was that it may mean bald in Greek, but
Oh,
there's no
weird.
evidence. Like if you search that word, which I think it's Kiasticuticus, I think you're
Oh, it
adding
might
an
be. Yeah,
M.
it might be. You're probably right. Kiasticuticus. In my mind, I always call it Castomaticus, but yeah, you're probably right. Casticuticus sounds right. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm only correcting you in case there's a listener who's like, yes, indeed, that is Greek for bald, because the internet doesn't know this is the case, other than this like one website that's like, oh, might mean bald in Greek. And that's the whole story. I can't find anything else. So you're probably right, actually.
Yeah. I mean, yes, because let's be honest, right? Because I just Googled Casticuticus, right? And it's coming up and you can see all the pictures and all this stuff. But like, you know, the internet and like global knowledge being what it is, if that were actually a Greek word, it would just like come up.
Yes,
You know what I mean? It would be
yes,
like, did you mean Greek for bald? Like, and no. So
totally.
I'm guessing. In fact, just to
Yeah,
just to
we'll
put a
search
note
Greek
to
for
this.
balls.
Let's go to translate.google.com and we're going to detect language. We're going to type Kiasticuticus.
As it is, it's like hopsontherocks.com who is putting out this theory, and they're like the only one. So
Yeah, it's okay. So it thinks that Kiasticuticus is Latin, which it isn't, and it translates it to English, Kiasticuticus. So not right. Let me try to force it to translate Greek. So it's obviously not. Yeah. Yeah, no, it just translates to English Kiasticuticus. So no, internet speculators. Kiasticuticus does not mean bald in Greek, and that's really easy to look up. That's not true. It's somebody's name. Like it's definitely somebody's fucking name. And if there is clearly no other record for this, which also I think corroborates my idea that we're talking about something that's like a century or so old, because if it was younger than that, there would be at least some shred of record or something on the internet about it. So
right.
yeah, Kiasticuticus founded the Greek houses of pizza in the region. In fact, maybe we should call this the Kiasticuticus Pizza Tournament.
Oh my gosh, we
The
definitely should.
Kiasticuticus Memorial.
Yes, we
The
should.
Kiasticuticus Memorial March Pizza Madness Tournament for the cure.
For the cure for baldness, which in Greek is actually phalakros.
Which, hey, you know what? Sam and I, we're in our mid to late 30s here.
Yeah.
Neither of us really has the male pattern baldness. So if anybody's going to try to help the bald and find the cure, it's us. I got a little bald spot in the back of my head a little bit, so I'm not totally immune, but still, we're old enough that like if we were going bald, you would know. Like it would be there already. So we're here to help the rest of you
By eating pizza.
by
That's right.
by eating pizza and thinking about baldness. You know, like I'm not sure what else we'll do for the cure, but we will send our thoughts and prayers. Our intentions will go towards may there never be a bald man again. You know, may we erase this scourge from the earth like Ebola and COVID. Indeed.
Indeed. So, this is a great segue. Speaking of men who have overcome baldness.
Yes. Yes, please. Let's talk about that.
We've got some big Elon Musk news today.
If you guys can't tell, we've done enough like local news and controversy and politics that we're just like staying out of that altogether this week. And so we're going to pivot to national/international news. And no, that doesn't mean the conflict in Ukraine. Tell us what that means.
The top story on my mind today is that Grimes and Elon have a second secret kid, and the news about that just came out today. They were able to keep this a secret because Grimes and Elon decided to use a
Yeah,
surrogate.
I was gonna say because Grimes didn't actually give birth to their kid, like or
No,
be pregnant to their kid.
right.
Grimes just chilled while the pregnancy was paid for elsewhere,
Yes.
off to the side. Which, like, would that the rest of us could do that? God Almighty, you know.
Oh, I wouldn't pick that. But Grimes did. And their daughter, I should have looked her name up. They're calling her Y to
They're
go
calling
with
her
her brother
Y.
X.
It's
Did you
Yes.
know about this yet, Sam?
I only read it because you guys were talking about it. As usual, I felt like I had to figure out what the hell we're
I
talking
only
about here.
learned about this because you forced it on me. Probably like most of our listeners.
Well,
the girl named Exa, so EXA is the first name. Middle name number 1 is Dark, DARK. Middle name number 2, I'm assuming, maybe this is last name number 1, is Sidreal, SIDERAE. You know the AE figure. L, Musk.
Yep, which is
We'll
a combination
call her
of like
Y.
sidereal, which is how they believe time in the universe works, and Galadriel, the Tolkien character. Which is like, I mean, that's just like a baller combination. Like, good for them. Honestly.
Yes.
Like Dan, our good buddy Dan Chesney, he made a joke earlier where he was just like, like they're just on a higher plane than us, and we just can't understand, and that's why. But like, and I would have made that joke like a year ago, 2 years ago, and now I'm kind of like, they might be, like I mean, we don't know. Everything's up for grabs these days. There's no assumptions that can be really taken very seriously. You know what? Fucking A. Elon Musk and Grimes, this whole thing that they have going on, and apparently they're like together and separated and not together and best friends and like the loves of each other's lives and like
But they
all
have
of this,
never lived together. And
yeah, all of this truly inexplicable things. Elon Musk apparently this is his second kid with Grimes. He's got 5 kids from his first wife, which like for those of you who don't know, God, I wish American politics was more like the Europeans because, like, those Europeans, they have so much more fun. Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of England, I don't know how many people know this. No one knows how many kids he has. Like, no lie. Like, the people of Great Britain, the United Kingdom, they don't know how many children their Prime Minister has. He just, in the last few months, has acknowledged enough kids that they can say he has 7. He has 7 with 2 or 3 women, but there may be like unacknowledged bastard children besides the 7.
oh wow.
Like to the point where like it's like anytime this gets talked about, people are like, there's probably more. Like it's assumed, like we think there's more than 7. There's 7 acknowledged children of Boris Johnson. And these people just like do this and like get away with it. Elliot Spitzer gets a hooker one time and his political career's over. You know what I mean? Like, and like Boris Johnson's just like, I ain't telling you how many kids I have. You know what I mean? Like I don't understand how different it can be, Like, I don't know about Macron. Now, well, actually, I do know about Macron in France. I don't know if you guys know about Macron. Like, this would be like rape in America. But like, do you realize that the man is married to his school teacher? Like, he had an affair as a kid, as a teenager, with his like art teacher in high school. She's like 16 years older than him or something like that. And they got married, and she's the first lady of France. You know what I mean? Like in America, she's like Mary Kay Letourneau. You know what I'm saying? Like, which by the way, I think she's still with that guy. But whatever. There was some true love there for like 20 years. They might have split up in the end. I don't know. But in France, you can still become first lady if you sleep with your student. Just, I don't know. I mean, different points of view. I like the more libertine approach. Honestly, I think it's healthier for society and people generally, but it's very different. Anyways, Elon Musk got a whole fucking bunch of kids, and him and Grimes they're on this thing, and like they're together and they're not together, and it's fine and it's cool, and they're having a bunch of kids with weird names.
And they apparently want more, even though they're not together, according to this article that I read today. I love them. They're my favorite celebrity couple. I think they're great.
Like I am a really arrogant, and in some ways, my critics might say I'm a sort of self-important sort of guy, and I'm not certain that they're not on a higher plane than me. I think I'm on a higher plane than most people. They might be on a higher plane than me. I'm just not sure that they're not. It's easy to call them ridiculous and all this stuff, but like I don't know, they rule the world. Like
exactly.
I mean, I don't know. Like somebody decided that Elon Musk was going to be the guy to manage the private space exploration of Earth. Like I mean that's the role that he's playing in our global society. He seems like he's doing an okay job with it, frankly. I don't know. Like there's people who complain about it, but at the same time, like I don't know, was NASA able to ever get a rocket to land upright with thrusters? No. The answer is no. And you know what? The German Nazi scientists, whether in Germany or when we took them all into the United States and called them NASA, they weren't able to figure it out either. But Elon Musk, the apartheid emerald miner, has, has indeed figured it out. I don't know. Bad people work on rocket scientists on rocket science. I don't know why that is exactly, but I don't know.
Well, I don't really hate Elon, but I
I
really
don't.
love
I can't.
Grimes.
I can't bring
Like,
myself to anymore. I
yeah.
used to. I can't do it anymore. People are like, he takes government subsidies to do this. It's like, all right, well, why don't you grab those government subsidies, fucking motherfucker? You know what I mean? Like, fuck you. Like, somebody's gonna grab them. What? Like, I don't know. What do you think? If Elon Musk didn't grab them, they were gonna go to affordable housing in Peterborough. Like, not how it works, guys. Like, it's like Elon Musk is gonna grab them, or like Peter Thiel is gonna get them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'll let you. I'm not gonna go on a rant about him, but like, I'll let you guys Google him. I it's he gets a lot of government money too, and I'd rather it go to Elon Musk, honestly. Um, if only because Peter Thiel killed Gawker, which I used to love because I like meanness, and they made meanness on the internet acceptable once upon a time. It's not anymore. It's a bummer. I don't know. Bring back the mean, guys. I don't know. I love it. Um, but having covered our plans for pizza and Elon and Grimes, after we've had several heavy episodes dealing with public policy, I think we can call this one a nice happy St. Patrick's Day to all the Irish and fake Irish out there. I hope that you're enjoying this. Do like I don't know, throw some green dye in your well, and or in go down to Cold Springs in Jaffrey, the joint Peterborough Jaffrey water. Put some green dye in there, so that may the taps run green. May your luck ever be rich, and may there be gold at the end of all of your rainbows. There's a little trial run there. I don't know what you guys think, but a good little ending. But please, we're going to put it in the show notes. We'll put the details, where you can send emails, where you can comment, where you can Facebook message, participate in our Facebook. In our Facebook, in our Kiasticuticus Memorial March Pizza Madness for the Cure. And enter to win. You can get a free pepperoni pizza. It can feed you and maybe one of your friends. And I don't know. Thank you for joining us this evening in the Space Lounge. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I hope that your heart feels lighter on this St. Patrick's Day, in honor of the first day of spring, in honor perhaps even of my impending birthday. Feel good. Feel good. Let's relax. God damn it. Let's have a good summer. Me and Palmucci, for the record, we've already declared it hot dad summer. It's coming. Sam, you're invited. It's gonna be an awesome time. 2022, baby. Hot dad summer. It's coming. All right. A few months away, but St. Patrick's Day is like the gateway. It's the beginning of goodness. And on that note, I want to thank you all. Until we meet again in the Space Lounge, take good advice. Good night.